Have you ever felt your voice lost in the world's noise, a mere whisper swallowed by the cacophony of everyday life? Have you ever felt like you're shouting into a void, unheard and unseen? And what about those moments when your prayers feel like just whispers in the wind, carried away without reaching their destination? Do you ever wonder if anyone is truly listening? That's precisely how the Israelites felt in Egypt. Once honored guests, treated with respect and dignity, now reduced to slaves, their freedom stolen, their spirits crushed. Burdened and broken by the weight of their oppression, their days were filled with relentless labor, under the scorching sun, with no respite in sight, their hearts heavy with sorrow, each sunrise bringing another day of suffering and despair. They were feeling forgotten by all, even by God, or so they thought in their darkest moments. Yet, in their darkest hour, when hope seemed lost and despair reigned supreme, they cried out, a collective yearning for freedom, a desperate plea for deliverance. But God was not deaf to their pain, nor was he blind to their suffering. He saw their suffering, the injustice they endured, the tears they shed, heard their cries, the anguish in their voices, the desperation in their prayers, and remembered his promise, the sacred covenant he had made with their ancestors. The years of silence were not absence, a sign of his indifference, but preparation for a miracle, a divine intervention that would change their destiny forever. This ancient story reminds us, when we feel lost or invisible, adrift in a sea of uncertainty and despair, God still sees, hears, and remembers, even when we feel utterly alone. He draws near to the brokenhearted, offering solace and comfort in our deepest pain, and saves those crushed in spirit, lifting us from the depths of despair and restoring our hope. Your cry is not lost, it doesn't vanish into thin air, it reaches heaven ascending like incense, a fragrant offering to the divine, and an answer is already on its way, a beacon of hope on the horizon. Even in the deepest darkness, when shadows surround you and hope seems a distant memory, hope remains, a tiny flicker of light that cannot be extinguished. The dawn is coming, bringing with it the promise of a new day, a new beginning, and renewed hope. Long before their suffering, God promised Jacob, Israel, that his descendants would be as countless as the stars. In Egypt, despite oppression, the Israelites multiplied and flourished. Their growth was a living sign of God's faithfulness, even as the Egyptians tried to suppress them. Pharaoh saw their strength as a threat and plotted to break them, but the harder life became, the more the Israelites grew. God's promise could not be stopped by human schemes. Sometimes the very pressures meant to break us become the soil where faith grows strongest. God was turning their bondage into the birthplace of a mighty nation. His word always prevails. Pharaoh's fear, a dark cloud over his heart, led to cruelty. He saw the growing Hebrew population as a threat, a seed of rebellion that needed to be stamped out. First, with harsh labor, an attempt to break their spirit and diminish their numbers. But when that wasn't enough, he issued a monstrous command: kill every Hebrew baby boy. A decree of unimaginable horror. 2 midwives, Shiphrah and Puah, were ordered to carry out this evil. They were given the impossible choice: obey a wicked king or defy his terrible will. But they feared God more than Pharaoh, recognizing a higher authority, a moral compass that pointed them towards compassion and justice. And bravely, with quiet resolve, they let the boys live. They chose mercy over murder, defying the king's command with unwavering faith. When questioned about their disobedience, they answered with wisdom, protecting both the children and themselves, demonstrating both courage and cunning. God honored their courage, recognizing their faithfulness in the face of immense pressure, blessing them with families of their own, a testament to their righteous actions and a symbol of hope for the future. Their quiet defiance, born of deep conviction, became an act of heroism, inspiring generations to come. God sees and rewards those who choose what is right, even in secret, even when no one else is watching, their actions echoing in eternity. Shiphrah and Puah remind us true courage often comes in gentle, steadfast acts, in the quiet moments of choosing good over evil. In a culture of death, they chose life, affirming the sanctity of every human being. Their faith changed history, demonstrating the power of individual courage to defy tyranny and usher in a new era of hope. The weight of Pharaoh's cruelty pressed down on the Hebrew people, a relentless and suffocating oppression. In a desperate attempt to control the growing Hebrew population, a horrific decree was issued. Every Hebrew son was to be cast into the Nile. The river, meant to sustain life, became a symbol of death and despair. In this darkness, a special child was born, a beacon of hope amidst the despair. His arrival was a secret, a whispered prayer in a time of fear: Moses. a name that would one day echo through history, a symbol of liberation and faith. His mother, Jochebed, a woman of immense courage and unwavering faith, hid him for 3 months, shielding him from the eyes of the Egyptian authorities. When she could no longer conceal him, she made a daring choice. She placed him in a basket on the river, entrusting his fate to the currents and to God's divine protection. It was an act of profound faith, a surrender to the unknown, trusting God to guide and protect her precious child. This was not abandonment, but a desperate act of love, a mother's ultimate sacrifice for her child's survival. It was an act of faith, a testament to the power of belief in the face of impossible odds. She was placing her son in God's hands, believing that he would provide a way where there seemed to be no way. And God intervened, orchestrating a series of events that would change the course of history. Pharaoh's daughter, a woman of compassion and empathy, found the baby nestled in the basket, and moved by compassion, she defied her father's decree and saved him, recognizing the innocent life before her. The child marked for death, destined for the river's depths, was raised in the palace, surrounded by luxury and privilege, unknowingly being prepared for a greater purpose that would unfold in God's perfect timing. Moses' story is a powerful reminder that God's plan is always at work, even when all seems lost, even in the darkest of times. God hears your cries, your fears, your hopes. He rescues from the depths of despair and redeems, transforming tragedy into triumph. Your basket of hope, whatever it may be, is safe in His hands, secure in His unwavering love and protection. Trust, He is always working for your good, even when you cannot see it, even when the path ahead seems uncertain.